What's going on, guys? My name is Omega and welcome back to another Apex Legends video. So today I actually want to talk about some ways that we can improve Apex in Season 8. Now you guys seem to enjoy these videos where I kind of just give my thoughts on how to improve specific things in the game. This video is going to be more of just a general overview of things that we could fix or improve that would make Apex Legends a lot better. Because man, I love this game. You guys know, I am a huge fan of Apex Legends, but there are some obvious problems that I don't think we should just kind of like push under the rug. Some of these things do need to be changed or at least addressed, and whether you guys agree with me or not, I hope you can understand where I'm coming from with these ideas, because I do think that these will benefit Apex in the long run. Starting off with my first idea for Season 8, I really do believe that you should be able to pick the map you want to play on in public matches. This is a feature that I honestly expected right when crossplay dropped. We all of a sudden had a huge influx of players from every different system. We had so many more people that you could actually queue up with. It makes sense to now be able to actually pick what map you want to play on, at least in public matches. Like, I understand in ranked mode you don't want to differentiate between the maps because then that just wouldn't be fair, but I don't see the reason to not give that player the option in public matches. Now, understandably, there might be higher queue times for maps that people really don't have an interest playing, but I think adding this feature will help to bring back more casual players to this game. If you're someone who only maybe has a couple hours a week to play video games, you might not want to feel forced to play a map that you don't enjoy with your limited time. And if this option is just ignored and never comes, I would like to at least see newer maps have a longer rotation throughout the season. I'm going to end this idea just saying that I really do think that Olympus should have been playable at all times throughout this season. It really doesn't make sense to not let people play the new map, especially when that is what the entire Season 6 hype was all about. Now, moving on to idea number 2, these are just a couple of quality of life features to improve just the player experience in Apex. I would really like to see an ultimate gauge bar that just lets your teammates know how close you are to your ultimate. As a Revenant player, I think this is something that would really benefit him specifically, just because it is very hard when you don't have a microphone to communicate with your teammates when your ultimate is ready. Having this for every single legend in a very easy to read spot would definitely improve that nonverbal communication that Apex Legends really promotes in its game. You could also add another UI tab that shows what weapons you and your teammates are using, just so you know what ammo or attachments they might need, and you're not just pinging a bunch of random stuff that could be used by someone. I also believe heirloom trackers should be in the game that tell you how many more packs you need to open before 500. This is something that I'm just really surprised has not made its way into the game. You would think that if someone was pretty close to that 500 mark, they would probably spend the extra, maybe 50 or 60 bucks just to get that heirloom. Again, adding that could make people not even want to spend money in case they were like super far away from hitting that 500. I'm really not sure if that feature would make the game better or worse now that I'm thinking about it. But being able to refund heirlooms you got before the heirloom shard patch would also be a nice addition. For those of you guys that don't know, we did have an update where heirloom shards were added into the game, and then you could actually pick what heirloom you wanted. Many people before that update didn't get the chance to pick the heirloom they wanted and just got stuck with whatever random heirloom they were given. Now, moving on to idea number 3, and this is something that Respawn has talked about doing, even though I haven't really seen much of it yet, and that is more communication from Respawn or Apex Legends throughout the season. Currently, the only communication we really get is the occasional tweet from the Apex Twitter, a comment from a developer on Reddit, and it's usually Daniel Klein who's making that comment, or from the Apex Legends seasonal AMA on Reddit, which is just a forum where people go on to ask questions and get them answered by developers. I think the lack of communication from Respawn really does distance players from the game itself. Considering that Apex does not post as much content compared to Warzone and Fortnite, it leaves players craving for anything new in the game. One thing I would love to see is a mid-seasonal video from devs talking about some of the data they have collected for the season, including like win rates and pick rates for legends and other interesting things that the community might want to know, like gun stats or how often a certain gun was used in that season, and also talk about how that is going to influence the changes that might be coming in the next season. Just having some of that communication to give us an idea of what's sort of being worked on in the background is something that I think would keep players playing for longer and would definitely have a much bigger benefit to the community as a whole. Now, I understand developers should not be forced to go out publicly and talk about their game. This is a problem that Apex Legends has had in the past, where developers just really don't feel comfortable interacting with their own community just because they always get flamed and they get a bunch of hate messages for stuff that they're really not responsible for. If no developers want to step up to this role where they're really just the face of Apex Legends talking to the community, I think they definitely need to hire some kind of social manager or someone who is just the face of Apex Apex Legends who gets out there, interacts with the community, tells them what's going on in the background, because I really do think we need more of that, and that kind of communication would definitely make people want to stick around for longer. Moving on to idea number 4, this is something I would love to have added, not only as a content creator, but just someone who wants to get better at Apex, and that is a theater mode. Having a theater mode in a competitive game like Apex would be absolutely huge. It would allow you to be able to watch your games back in a free roaming camera setting, kind of like what you're doing with CryptoStrome, where you're just floating around the map, scanning stuff. This would help you to look back on your games and see mistakes or missed opportunities you wouldn't have noticed if you weren't watching the gameplay back yourself. Now, this feature is actually something that is somewhat used in competitive Apex right now. As you guys can see, this free roaming camera makes it super easy to actually see where enemies are. You can even see the enemies' health bars as well as what kind of armor they have equipped, giving players this feature to go back and watch their gameplay and see what kind of mistakes they made in terms of like rotation. Maybe they saw a fight that they engaged in and they shouldn't have engaged in. It would really help you just improve as a player, and for a game that is so competitive like Apex, giving players any kind of tools to make them better is definitely something that this game would benefit from. Now, moving on to point number 5, this is kind of like a very general thing, but I really do think in Season 8 they need to fix the insane amount of bugs, ring closing issues, audio issues, and server issues, because I honestly do believe that Apex might just benefit from an entire season of damage control. It's possible that this is going to be the case for Season 8, as in an interview that Chad Grenier did with IGN, he was more excited talking about Season 9, saying that Season 9 was going to shock everyone. He wasn't really as excited talking about Season 8, which makes me believe this could kind of just be like a filler season with a little bit of content just to, fix a lot of ongoing issues in the game, which personally is something I'd be fine for. I think it would be setting them up for more success in the future. Now, I completely understand that every game has bugs, and sometimes you create new bugs when you try to patch an old one. However, we can't deny that there have been some ongoing issues in this game that have yet to be fixed. This game still suffers from network issues that will just immediately kick you out of the game. I've still had code net issues myself, where I'm in a ranked game and I'll just get disconnected for no reason, and I'm still punished for it. I lose RP, I have that matchmaking delay. That's something that still hasn't been fixed. It's been an ongoing issue for a while. There's this new bug with Rampart where it doesn't really let her place down walls a lot of the times, and we still have the Octane glitch where he can't use his jump pad to double jump. Now, I know Apex has been doing a lot of work to fix the audio in this game. I have noticed an improvement compared to earlier seasons, but it's still sometimes very difficult to tell, where a person is based on their footsteps, especially if you're inside a building and they are either above or below you. Teammates' footsteps are also just as loud as enemies, which makes things even more confusing. We also have game sound that is sometimes never heard when there's large scale fights. Like, I've seen Silent Gibraltar ults, Silent Devotions, Volts, Havocs, basically anything that is supposed to make a lot of noise in this game just doesn't get heard by anyone. Now, moving on to point number 6, and this is something that I really hope they do in Season 8, and that is to finally update the store, man. The store that has literally had zero attention. The store is basically Harry Potter when he's at the Dudleys, just locked away under the staircase, doesn't want anyone to know it's there. I mean, I really do think the store could benefit from some updates in Season 8. You guys might have remembered I actually made a store concept for Season 7 of Apex, thinking that we were going to get some kind of big update to the store this season. I drew up a concept that doesn't look beautiful, but I think the way that the skins are actually laid out would make the store a lot better. Now, in the concept I made, I set aside 4 skins on the left side that you would be able to buy with Apex coins. I added 2 bundles in the middle because I think bundles shouldn't be removed, but there should definitely be less bundles. And then finally on the right side, I have skins that you can unlock with legend tokens. Again, I really would wish that legend tokens would be more beneficial in this game. It kind of seems like a worthless currency that most people have just been saving hundreds of thousands, if not millions of tokens for the last 2 years that they really don't have much to spend on. I really do like the store concept, and I am hoping that something like this is added in the future. Now, before I end this video, I'm just going to add on a few extra random things that I would like to see added. Not all of this is of the most importance, but I think in the future it would definitely benefit the game in some way. These ideas being creator code for Apex Legends creators, being able to create your own skins in Apex, private matches, in-game weapon stats, more permanent game modes, more weapon scopes, PvE quests, more legend finishers, more unique badges, and skins that you unlock by completing challenges. Now, we talked about a lot in today's video. If you guys have any ideas on ways to improve Apex for Season 8, definitely let me know down in the comments below. Would love to hear what you guys have to say and all the different feedback that you guys might have. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's upload. Drop a like on the video if you did, and I will see you guys all next time. Have a great day. Peace out.